In Ghana, there is a lady by the name of Nana Agraada. This lady right here. This lady, she's very popular. She's all over the place. She was a sangoma. She was a juju person doing all kinds of juju behaviors and all of that stuff. And one day she got arrested because of busy scammy behavior, scam behavior. All of that entire just as she was doing. She got arrested. When she came out of prison, she said, me, born again. It was a couple of years back, I think about 4 or 5 years. Immediately after she came out from prison, claimed she was born again, she started a church. Now, what she has done recently shows you why this lady has never been qualified. I don't think there was ever a point where we actually, I don't know, maybe you guys were Ghana people can tell us. Maybe you guys were kind of convinced by this lady. Personally, never convinced. Mans was never convinced this lady was anywhere clear called, or whatever you may call it. She called for a prayer point. People responded. Now, it's how she behaves after certain people responded to this prayer call that I want to talk about it, which shows this lady there's nothing to do on the pulpit.
Now, on Sunday,
Right.
during church service, members are fully packed. The church is full as well.
always.
As always. And she said, if you want to travel abroad, come forward.
What person to
Come forward. If you want to go to the US, UK, Canada, come forward. Europe, come forward.
Bah.
Just come forward.
Bah.
People kept coming. But some people will come join the queue, no. She's like, nah, bro.
What are you going to do there?
Whoa, no, whoa, Kwahi.
You see, when a person has the heart of God, or the person has a desire for God's service, or anything, when they become born again, the first thing that grows in an individual, it's the love of the people. That's the first thing that grows. It's the love of people. So if you don't understand, because they are not speaking in English there, what is happening there is that she called for a prayer call. She made a prayer call to say for those that want to go out of the country, you want to travel and all of that type of stuff, maybe get job outside, opportunities, business, whatever it is. She said she made this call for people to come out. People responded. They went to the front. Then some people who were in the line, she was not happy seeing. So basically she looked at them and she's like, this one, where are you going? You know, she was looking at certain people in the, now, these are members of a church. These are members of a church. It's not like a crusade thingy. No. This is members of a church. These are people who are members of a congregation. They respond to her prayer call. They stand in front with everybody else. And the moment they stand there, she kicks them away. Yeah, she tells them, my friend, get out of the line. Get away. She outright kicks these guys off the line because they didn't look the part. They had nowhere close, they had no look near them that says, this one can't travel. I just came from the village. You know? So basically, she looked at these individuals and she outright straight judged that this person is going to waste my time. We're going to waste, you're going to waste my prayer. Her prayer is so valuable, she dare not even send out. Now, bear in mind, prayer is petition. Prayer is what? It's petition. Now, someone asked for a prayer, and you called for that prayer, and this person wants to do that. Now you'll understand why I started this video by saying what I said. It's very important to understand when a person gets into ministry, the first thing they must have is the love of people. The people are the center of the ministry. And secondly, they must have a preference of people. Now, by preference, I don't mean they must class people and then prefer certain people. No. What I mean by prefer people is that you must prioritize people higher than, because you can't have money as priority. It is the people that must be priority. If this equation doesn't factor out, you're going to have a lot of problems. If this equation is not there, what's going to happen is that over time you will notice the person become straining towards the individuals before them. That's why you have pastors busy insulting church members in front of them, saying all kinds of funny things. You see, that stuff happens because the person has no love for people. You see, I've done apologetics for all this while. It's because I have a love for people. That's the first thing that grows. You must care that people hear truth. That's the first thing. Now, many people will kind of go around the subject matter, do you have a calling? What is your calling? And all of that stuff and whatnot. But you can see a calling of the love of people that comes or builds into a person. Now, you'll see this in First John. He says, by this we know that the love of God is in us, that you love the brethren. So the expression of love that we have in how we are willing to devote time, study, and all of that to educate people is one of the things that show when we have a love for the work of God. It's the first thing. You can't skip that one. What's going to happen is that you're going to insult people, you're going to offend people, or you're going to take personal preference is going to take front seat, because now people are not priority. So that's the first thing. When Jesus is talking to Peter, right? He says, Peter, do you love me? This is after Jesus resurrects and he's sitting with the disciples and they're dining, they're eating all over at the fire. He says, Peter, do you love me? Peter says, yes. And then he says, feed my flock. Peter, do you love me? So the expression of our love for God is also seen in our service to people. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't love God. Maybe you do. But your love has many areas of limits. Right? The extent of our love is seen in our expression towards people. Peter, do you love me? Good. Feed my flock. Peter, do you love me? Feed my flock. He asked him several times until Peter then says, Lord, you know that I love you. And then he says what? Feed my flock. And many people have gone through trying to dissect the verse and saying, the Greek word maybe is what changes, and say the other parts Peter was answering with the love that is unconditional. You've heard maybe those particular. If you haven't, don't worry. You stay around Christianity long enough, you'll hear that argument to say, no, the reason why Jesus said that to Peter is because Peter was using brotherly love, phileo, in reference to, yes, Lord, I love you. And then others say, the last answer is when he said, yes, he agapes him. And so, feed my flock. So, you'll hear that argument. That's not what I want to. But you see, it is priority. It is center. You will see it in Jesus. You will see it in First John. First John is very clear. When the love of God is expressed in us, it then transitions over to the people that he has sent before us. The issue when God was dealing with Jacob and Esau was exactly this. Jacob I have loved, Esau I have hated. It wasn't that God had hated him like emotion. He's talking about a hate, particularly choosing, preference, prefer. And if you read the story of Jacob and Esau, you will see why. because Esau would rather have his way and not be the one that carries the family heritage or the family blessing and be the one that is responsible for handing that out. He would rather benefit himself. Give me a plate. I would rather not carry this. The birthright was important because the birthright meant, can you take responsibility for what I give you? Now, think about a minister. What is the duty of a minister? The duty of a minister is to give out what God has given him. The Jacob and Esau comes back again. This lady doesn't have that. Yeah, no, you see all of that. I said all of that to say that. So I was describing all these scenarios so that you can have a proper framing. Then now we can hound it down. You see, this lady does not have that. She's never grown. She doesn't know discipleship. She's never grown in the word, nothing. She probably Googles the messages. She went from prison from being a Sangoma and came out a preacher. So she didn't grow in her sensitivity towards God's work. It's very important. You can't skip that. You don't skip that. Otherwise, you become a ruler. You become authoritarian. You may call it that. In our discipleship, in our being taught, we are able to learn. We learn this behavior. The same way, you see a child misbehaving, not wanting to share with their siblings and you teach them to be willing to. It's the same here. This lady doesn't have it because she doesn't know church. She saw maybe church from TV, that's it. Took a juju there, put a church, and that's it. So, we're talking to a child, yes, apart from that, but there is a lesson behind this. You see, our love for people is reflected in how we are willing to serve. He says there is no greater service than this. This is Jesus, that a man should lay down his life for a friend. Those you love, you would see it by that. So as we grow in God, as we grow in our fellowship, we grow in relationship, what comes out of us is the expression of how God has loved us, and it translates over to the people. She starts shouting at those guys. She starts shouting at them. Why? She doesn't have it in her. You can't display a fruit you do not have. Can't. Tell me your thoughts down in the comment section. Is the Rick Reality Show with the Daily Christian Commentary video. It's important that one be able to distinguish the separation between these things. The fruit of a disciple brings out. And as we grow in the word, we grow in the love for the brethren. Tell me your thoughts down in the comment section, and I'll see you on the later on. Have a blessed day.